Alright, so in the last video, I showed you exactly why your ads die after 60 days and how the audience saturation mechanism works. But even if you fix that, okay, even if you built out a full audience expansion system and you're getting consistent leads every single day, there's still another underlying problem. And this one's sneaky because most MessSpot owners don't even know it exists, okay? You're losing 40% of your leads between the form fill and the actual booking, okay? And I'm not talking about how leads are not qualified or that they were never going to book anyway. I'm talking about people who raised their hand and they were like, I'm interested, I want your service. And then they just sort of disappear. We've all had those customers before. And when I audit MessSpot funnels, this is almost the biggest leak. Not ads, not the creative, the conversion process between the lead and the book. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through on the board the full breakdown, exactly what's happening on each stage, why you're losing 40% of your leads, and what is costing you every single month. Alright, so this is fully everything that I'll be walking you through. And let's start right over here. The 5-minute window, why 40% of your leads never book. Even if you're consistently getting leads constantly, you're losing 40% through form submission and actual booking. And this is the invisible leak most MessSpot owners don't even know exists. The lead submits the form, the notification is sent, the front desk sees it, the callback happens, the booking complete. But none of this happens. Here's the failure point number one, is that notification delay. Most of the time when lead submits form, the notification goes to the email inbox. Now, when was the last time you checked your email every 5 minutes? Unless you're waiting for something, right? Now, realistically, you can't really do this over and over again. So that means that front desks don't check the email for 2 to 3 hours, and then by then the lead's already cold. You know, they want the service now, they're just gonna go to a different place. Another failure point is that the response time. The front desk sees the notification, but they're busy with walking in, they're busy with the walk-in. They're busy with the checkout, and they're busy with other calls. So they're just thinking, I'll call them back in an hour. 1 hour turns into 4 hours, turns into tomorrow, and then finally just turns into never. So you just burn the lead who wants your services. Someone who's literally saying, I will give you money, please. Just, I will give you money. That's what they're saying, and you're just not contacting them. Failure point number 3, the contact attempts. The front desk calls once, they leave a voicemail, but then they just give up. The lead never answers, and then the lead's just gone. Another failure point. Conversion skill. The front desk gets them on the phone, but they don't know what to say because your front desk isn't taught in sales most of the time. So they just might say, oh, do you want to book? The lead will just say something like, oh, I'll think about it, because they don't feel any immediate pressure to book right now. There's no incentive for them to do it. And when each of these failure points are happening, you're losing 10 to 15% at each stage. So think 10% over here, 15 over here, 15 over here, 15 over here, and then 10 over here. Each stage you're losing at least some percentage of your leads. By the end, 40 to 50% of them are gone. This is the 5-minute window and why response time is everything. So right here, we have a table that I built based on some stats that I've been looking at. Let's say under 5 minutes, your conversion rate is around 75%. So if your B out of 100 is your booking leads per 100 leads, you'd get around 75 bookings if you would dial them within the first 5 minutes. Under 60 minutes, so that's still pretty good, but you want to do much better than this. You want to be right over here. Maybe around 50% of them convert. It's basically a coin flip, okay? You can get heads or tails. It'll be one of those. So 50 bookings, but the important thing is that you've lost 25 bookings out of all of this. If you call them under 24 hours, so you're calling them the next day, 30% of them convert. Only 30% of the leads that are interested in your services are going to convert. That's like having 100 leads and only 30% of the 30 people are even booking at all. Not even paying, just booking. Finally, after 24 hours, same thing, but much worse. This should be around 15 to 20%, but I'm being considerate and being conservative. And as a result, 30% of them convert, but only 15 book, simply because they don't see the value in working with you anymore. The same leads, different response time, over a 5x difference in bookings. If you call them back within 5 minutes, 75% of them book. If you wait for 24 hours, only 15% of them book. This isn't theory, this is just measured data across hundreds of med spas that I've been auditing for the past year or two. The actual dollar cost. So you might be thinking, what is this actually costing me? Okay, I see the problem, I see the underlying issue, but how much money am I truly losing? So if we go back to the usual numbers, a standard ad spend around $3,000, leads at 100, so around $30 per lead. Scenario 1, for the 5-minute booking, 100 leads times 75% conversion is around 75 bookings. 75 bookings times 70% show rate is around 53 appointments. 53 appointments times $300 average is around $15,000 in revenue. So you're making around a 5.3x in revenue or in return. Now, scenario number 2, 24 hours response. Most med spas are doing this. 100 leads at 30% conversion rate is 30 bookings. 30 bookings at 70% conversion show rate is 21 appointments. 21 appointments times $300 average is only $6,000. 2.1x compared to the 5.3x. You're losing around 2 times the lead simply by responding quickly. The difference is nearly $9,000 less per month. You're basically losing 5 figures per month if you don't call them back quickly. Annually, you're losing 6 figures. This is pretty much guaranteed. You're losing 6 figures for not calling them quickly enough, right? From the exact same leads just because of the response time. And each month this stays broken, that $9,600 is gone. It just goes to a completely different med spa who's doing half of the service that you're doing. So you might just be thinking, oh, I'll just tell my front desk to call faster. But that's not the complete system, and here's why. Your front desk is dealing with walk-in clients, pricing questions, rebookings, and new leads who are coming into the clinic as they speak. They don't have time to call the leads because another one's coming in through the door. Walk-ins, clients checking out, phone calls from existing clients, rebooking questions, questions about pricing, processing payments, and responding to new leads. When a lead comes in, they might not see it right away, or they see it but they're busy, and they just think, oh, I'll call them back after an hour or two. 1 hour becomes 3 hours, 3 hours become tomorrow, tomorrow becomes never, and that's not your customer anymore. You've just lost a customer, congratulations. But it's not their fault. Don't blame your front desk. They're just not set up to prioritize leads over everything else. The lead comes in, the front desk gets busy, the callback gets delayed, and then repeats. And while your front desk is overwhelmed, you're losing 40% of leads to response time failures. Not even that you have a bad service, just that you're not contacting them quickly enough. But wait, it gets worse, because even if you book them, they don't show up. 100 leads with a 5-minute response rate, 75% conversion rate, 75 bookings made, but then 70% show rate. 53 appointments actually happen. Only 53 appointments out of the 100 leads that happen, which results in 22 no-shows. The no-show problems though. First-time med spa clients, 20 to 30% don't show up. That is an industry standard, so you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. Why? Either they forget, they get nervous, they weren't really committed to the service, they just sort of booked an appointment and just sort of changed their mind until then. Or, maybe something just came up, and there's no reminder system. There's nothing to remind them that they need to come in for their appointment, which can result in over 22 no-shows across $300 per service, so $6,000 per month lost, and annually around $79,200 per month. You paid $3,000 for those leads, you spent time booking them, and you blocked off time slots in your schedule, but they just never showed up. That's the cost of the no reminder system, no confirmation system, and no pre-appointment conditioning. And while you have no show rate optimization, your system is wasting 30% of your booked appointments. The fix. Here's the complete fix though. 3 pillars of conversion infrastructure. Pillar 1, speed to lead infrastructure. Not check the email when you have time, but yes to an automation that notifies you and the right person within seconds, not minutes, seconds when a lead puts their information in or when a lead comes in. The system makes it impossible to ignore. You don't even have to do anything. It just notifies you immediately. An example. Let's say a lead submits their form. Janet submits their form. The text alert to the front desk. A new lead. Sarah, we'll use Sarah. Sarah wants Botox. The phone rings. CRM pops up, or Client Response Manager pops up. Front desk must acknowledge the new lead. They call them within 5 minutes. The result, which is the 5-minute response time, becomes the default. It's not even an expectation. It's not like we'll sometimes get them in 5 minutes, maybe not. It's an expectation. If they're not hitting within seconds, 5 minutes is the maximum they'll go. And so Here's a script example. Thank you for reaching out about our service. Before I get you scheduled, let me ask, what is the main thing that you're hoping to improve? And you basically just let them talk. Got it. Have you had service before? You just build rapport and you address their concerns. And you just give them a recommendation. You basically become the authority in their service. And that's the most important thing. So they say yes to a diagnostic conversation that positions you as the expert. And you're not supposed to say, oh, do you just want a book? Because that's very meek. It doesn't signify action within the customer. That's pillar number 2 for you. And this is the result. Booking feels like the obvious next step, not the pushy sale. You're not pushing them, oh, please buy our services. No, you make them realize that there's no other choice but to buy your service. Pillar number 3 is the no-show prevention system. It's not once the confirmation email pops up, I hope they show up. No. It's to automated reminder sequences. 48 hours before their appointment, you'll send them an automated text message. Hi Sarah, excited to see you on Wednesday at 2 p.m. for your Botox appointment. Reply yes to confirm. 24 hours before, quick reminder. Your appointment is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Here's what to expect. And then you just give them the full details. 2 hours before, see you in 2 hours. Our address is, parking is available in the back. Plus, pre-appointment conditioning, what to bring, how long it takes, what results are to be expected, and how to prepare. The result is that they're excited about the appointment, not just, yeah, I'll just go, because why not? They're excited, they want to see you, they want to meet your staff, they want to meet friends with you. No-show rates drop from 30% to 10 to 15. If it's so clear, then why don't most people fix it? Here's the 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is that they think it's the front desk's fault. When the bookings are low, they think my front desk isn't calling them fast enough. So they tell the front desk, call leads back faster. It's an obvious thing to say. But that's not a system. Without infrastructure, without notifications going to their email, without no priority system, no conversion script, no show rate optimization, no anything, it just results in nothing changing. The front desk keeps on getting overwhelmed, you getting more angry with them, and the leads still leak. Number 2, they don't know what infrastructure means. Even if you know the response time matters, they don't know how to build speed to lead automation, conversion scripts that actually work. It's not saying, hey, how are you? That's not a script, right? Show rate prevention sequences, one of the most fundamental, that's my attempt at a star. Oh, much better. Show rate prevention sequences and front desk training protocols. So they either just hire an agency that only run ads but doesn't fix any conversion, or does nothing and hopes it improves. Reason number 3, they're focused on getting more leads. Most MedSpa owners think, I need more leads from ads. So they spend all their energy on the better creative, better copy, better targeting, but they ignore the 40% leak that's already happening when they already have the lead. It's like pouring water into a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom and then wondering why it's not filling up. Fix the leak first and then add more water. And when this stays unfixed, you're spending money on ads just to watch 40% of them disappear. But now that's the front desk conversion leak. That's why 40% of your leads never ever book. And that's why 30% of your bookings never show up. $115,000 per year. But even if you fix this, right? Even if your leads booking and showing up, there's still one more massive problem. You're running 100% cold traffic, which means highest possible cost per lead, lowest possible conversion rate, and constantly fighting saturation. In the next video, I'm going to show you why cold traffic ads are killing your margins, what a retargeting system should look like, and what it costs you not to have one. This is probably the most expensive mistake, $60,000 to $80,000 left on the table. And while you're running only cold traffic, the cost per lead is 3 times higher than it needs to be. When you're not paying anything extra, you're just blowing money away. And that wraps up everything that I have for this video. Click the link below in the description so you can watch the next one. And I'll see you soon.